To every teacher across the country, I promise our support so that you can do your best as part of our duty to ensure children learn to the expected standard and under the best possible environment and with the best possible facilities. Education officials across the country, too, have a critical role to play in shaping the quality of education in our institutions by ensuring that high standards are kept. Their supervision and inspection, both functions, keep the system running as it was envisaged and as it should. The government relies on the officials to deal with education emergencies. They are the first responders to any distress, threat, or crisis faced by learners or by teachers or by the school as a whole. They provide physical, psychological, and other forms of support that minimize danger to our children and to our schools. We are here to support our officials by providing the necessary resources they need to undertake these very necessary tasks. These vehicles that we are flagging up today will ensure the mobility and effectiveness, including the efficiency of our education officials. They will help to improve supervision and inspection services to all schools across our 47 counties, and we expect the officials to enforce school attendance by learners and teachers and map out the necessary support required in all our institutions. We also expect them to strengthen internal quality assurance and standards the government is developing with head teachers and principals in the context of the overall education curriculum. Education officials will also be able and be on the front line of the quality assurance and standard system the government is developing and perfecting continuously. Now you have in Nairobi 200 schools for 17 constituencies with 4.5 million people. There is something fundamentally wrong in the city of Nairobi. And it is the reason why I undertook that we are going to build an extra 5,000 classrooms in Nairobi County. And I'm happy I'm saying this in the presence of the county government and the members of parliament from Nairobi. When I made that commitment, we had already done the budget process. I want to tell the Nairobi County, especially members of parliament and the county government, that in the supplementary that I am sending to parliament this week, probably tomorrow or Monday, I have committed R1 billion shillings for Nairobi County as part of my commitment to start the building of the 3,500 classrooms that I undertook that the national government is going to build in Nairobi County. I want to ask members of parliament from Nairobi County to work with the Ministry of Education on a joint program. We want to work with the CDF to do that so that it becomes easy to deliver. So please, members of parliament from Nairobi, too many of our children in our informal settlements in Nairobi are not going to school because there are no adequate number of classrooms. Let us work together. With examinations beginning next week, these vehicles will also improve the monitoring and distribution of examination papers across the country and the examination period tests the entire education system and is one of the ways to ensure the system holds. What I'm saying here is that the opportunity we have next week is to test what our children have been going through, the learning they've gone through in the last 1 year. And I'm happy that it is no longer an all or nothing exercise. We are now looking at how to bring in competency-based education, that examination is not a do or die exercise. It is part of the exercise of learning. And that is why when Waziri informed me about what we are doing and what this exercise is all about, I wanted to come and provide a push so that our education officials know and understand that the reason why we have the largest budget this year for our education sector is because we have the single most important asset in the human capital of Kenya. And the best way to sharpen this human capital is through education and training and knowledge provision. And it is the reason why we are expending a lot of resources in this space, because we also know that through education, we can equalize the fortunes of all our children. It is the chance we have as society, through education, to make sure that all our children get the same chance at life. Irrespective of the community you come from, irrespective of the financial background of your parents, irrespective of the region you come from, the provision of education will give us as a society to provide a chance for all our children to have a good chance at life. It is the reason that I undertook that we will progressively ensure that we eliminate the gap that exists in our teacher-to-student ratio. We must give every child a chance to learn. We need to manufacture more devices to support the children with special needs. And I quite agree that we're still importing many of the basic devices. And we have decided as a country that what we can produce in Kenya, we should use the human capital we have, the resources we have, the raw materials we have to produce them in Kenya. And I agree that this is one area that we need to produce devices that are used by our children with special needs here in Kenya. They already have a piece of land, it tells me in Mavoko. I will make sure that that land is secured. I'm told there are some people hanging around there. I will deal with them. So we will secure the land. I will send the National Youth Service next week to secure the land. And I want to ask our members of parliament who are here that I'm going to adjust my budget again. I will knock off a few things, including the travel allowances and many of the things that are in there, so that I can find 500 million shillings to give it to start the manufacture of local devices that will assist in learning by our children with special needs. So, wabunge kina Mejandong mukubali. Mimi nitaenda nikate budget ya travel, tuweke 500 million ya wao wanafunzi. Na nitalete bunge kesho, so mujipange huko. Na mupitishe. My very best wishes to all our children with the exams from Monday, kwa watoto wetu wote wa taifa letu la Kenya ambao wataingia katika mtihani wetu Jumatatu, na watakia heri, na watakia baraka, utulivu, muweze kufanya mitihani yenu kwa njia na taratibu sawa sawa, na sisi wote kama serikali tutahakikisha kwamba mitihani hiyo inaendesha kwa njia inayofaa, na kila mwanafunzi na mtoto wa taifa letu la Kenya atapata nafasi yake ya kufanya mtihani, ndio tuweze kuwapitisha waweze kusonga katika kiwango inayofuata. It is our commitment that every child should have the chance to fulfill their potential and rise to the highest level of accomplishment that their intellect, their talent, their knowledge and determination can allow. This is our duty as parents, as a society, as a government, and as a people. We appreciate that going to school is not enough. We have to make sure that children learn basic reading, writing, numeracy skills, and many other extracurriculum subjects, which are the foundation of quality learning. To aid this objective, we have recruited 56,000 additional teachers, the largest number ever, but also teachers on their own are not enough to guarantee quality learning. They need support from the school, from parents, from society, and of course from government. The right learning environment, effective school management, and the provision of appropriate and sufficient reading and learning materials are also crucial, including devices for those students with special needs. This year, we have improved our budget on matters school feeding, because many children in our informal settlement, in the pastoral areas, fail to go to school because there is no food at home. And sometimes they don't even have the energy to go to school because they haven't eaten something. And it is very important that our children don't lose the chance to go to school because there is a gap of a meal. It is the reason why we are improving our budget. I want to thank members of parliament. When I made the proposal to increase the budget on school feeding from about 1.5 billion to 5.5 billion, parliament approved, knowing very well that these are our children. This year, hopefully, we will improve the number of kids that will benefit from school feeding. If all the counties were to come on board, we would actually take it to 8 million kids who will get a meal in school. But working as national government, we are targeting 4 million. I did ask, and I want to thank the governor of Nairobi for coming through. I did ask that any county government that puts a shilling in school feeding program, we are going to match that shilling with another shilling so that we can make food accessible to the children who need it to be in school. And you have seen the statistics because we've gone through these numbers. Just by providing a meal in school, the numbers go up by 150%. Clearly indicating that a meal in school is making a difference in not just attendance in school, it also has an effect in school learning outcomes.